What's up, all you samurai assassins out there? Fat Samurai Guy here with Lady Fat Blood, and welcome to another episode of The Movie Dojo, where we discuss martial arts cinema and action films. Today in the dojo, we are going to discuss XXx Return of Xander Cage. Here's a quick plot synopsis.
Hell freezes over and Donnie Yen survives an American film.
Alright, this is going to be a spoiler review, so if you're interested...
I just gave you a big one right there.
If you're interested in seeing this movie, stop the video right now, go watch it, and come right back. So to prepare for the greatest, ultimate, most badass trilogy of all time...
History. Fuck the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, fuck it.
Alright.
Fuck Star Wars, fuck Indiana Jones.
Yeah, when it was a trilogy. Fuck it
Yeah,
all.
when it was a trilogy, fuck it. This is the greatest trilogy of all time. But no, on a serious note, we had to prepare for the third film, so we rewatched the first XXx and the second one, State of the Union.
I hadn't seen the second one before.
Yeah.
I'd seen
I've seen parts, but not the whole movie, so it was kind of new for me as well. And the point of the movie was the first one was it was basically out with the old, in with the new.
Oh boy!
Even at the beginning of the movie.
Really? I didn't catch that at all with them killing the James Bond clone at the beginning of the film.
Yeah, they killed the bootleg James Bond clone, and now we got a new agent that's extreme, man. Woo!
Yeah.
And I mean. The first movie, compared to the third one, it's not as over the top.
No, I think it's funny that this movie came out at a time, you know, the early 2000s, they had a penchant for kind of taking themselves a little too seriously at times. Yeah. And this movie had the potential to be kind of zany, kind of wacky, kind of crazy, but I think they were too serious. They weren't self-aware yet, and you can see they are trying to be serious. There were a couple of moments peppered throughout where it was over the top. You know, you had the bike, him jumping up over the guys with the bike, and you know, grabbing onto the back of the bike and shooting the guys.
It's ridiculous.
You know, if we had had more moments like that, this movie probably could be a little more watchable more often.
It did have its tongue-in-cheek moments. I mean, there were moments where Vin Diesel was winking at the camera. Okay. But I mean,
they were serious. And trying to be the new James Bond.
They were serious, but the concept wasn't serious. No. We're gonna bring in an extreme sports guy, man. Woo!
Basically, Nick Fury is Amanda Waller.
In this movie, in this franchise,
he's you know, for Vin's character, he's on his third strike, and he's got nothing. You know, you're going to prison or you're gonna work for me. You know, you take your pick, and that's kind of what he does. He takes people who have, you know, they're outside the system. And if they fail, well, they fail. But if not, well, hey, you know, we take the credit, whatever. But watching it again,
it's still fun. It's goofy fun. It's fun for what it is.
It's harmless.
Yeah.
It's just dumb.
Yeah, it's dumb. And again, for a movie that was kind of trying to be serious, I think it was trying to do both, but didn't know how to cross that line. Unlike this movie, the third movie crossed the line, jumped the shark, did everything, okay? So for the first film, I mean, there were moments where, you know, he holds up the gun, you know, and he holds up the pistol, and the guy's like, "Whoa, man, your aim is so good." And he goes, "That's because I'll play first-person shooter games." I mean, it's just like, oh, man.
It's pretty god-awful.
Do you play PlayStation? I mean, wow.
Trying to speak to the young kids in their generation and all of that.
So which now brings us to State of the Union.
Sweet.
I'm sorry, okay? But you got chunky, thick as fuck Ice Cube running and just jumping off the building to grab a helicopter. We were laughing our asses off. We should have recorded us watching it, okay?
Oh, yeah.
We should have, but I mean...
recorded me falling asleep.
It wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be. It's not. In terms of pain, in terms of wanting us to kill ourselves.
Yeah, it wasn't...
It wasn't as bad.
It also wasn't as bad as I wanted it to be.
Right.
I wanted it to be like Gods of Egypt.
Yeah.
What a pile of shit, but holy shit, it was entertaining. Instead, we got boring.
Yeah.
We had a franchise that was trying to take off. You know, 2005 rolled around, Vin Diesel, you know, he'd already turned down the Fast and the Furious franchise. You know, he had to make a decision. Do I want to do XXx or do I want to do Chronicles of Riddick? Well, we know what we got. Now, was this better? Did he make the right decision in going with Chronicles of Riddick? I would say Riddick is an infinitely more interesting and charismatic character to portray and to watch than either Xander Cage or Dominic Toretto. But we all know how Chronicles of Riddick turned out, but it's fine.
That's another review.
It's a whole other review.
Another video.
But State of the Union, dear God. So when they weren't trying to hammer into the audience that Vin Diesel's character was dead, how many times?
It was like 4 times they mentioned that his character died.
Hammered it into the, God. So Ice Cube is a convict, but he was,
of course he is.
He was in the military. What was he, a Navy SEAL? I want to say he was a Navy SEAL. And he's serving prison time, and there's a strike on all of the XXX agents, and Vin Diesel, he's never shown. It's just, Xander Cage was killed in an attack and da-da-da-da-da-da. So Samuel L. Jackson's character goes and he pulls Ice Cube into this new XXX, I mean not this new, but this XXX program, but they have to go off the grid because there's a mole inside the XXX organization who happens to have Xander Cage's tattoo that he had on the back of his neck plastered on their elevator doors. Okay.
Somehow, Vin Diesel's tattoo somehow became the logo of the organization. Like, what?
As if they didn't give a shit enough, they had to go and do shit like that. This movie suffers from just, you will not remember this movie once you've finished it. We watched it the morning of when we went to go see XXX 3. And I can honestly tell you, I don't remember jack shit about the movie. Yeah. And it's sad because I kind of like Ice Cube. Yeah. You know, it's not like he's god-awful.
No,
it's just...
Ice Cube is perfect for that co-star type of actor. He's perfect for co-star. Yeah. Not superstar action lead. He shouldn't be doing that. It's awkward. I don't buy it. Co-star, though, badass on the team, that could totally work. But, there were moments in this movie where I was like, we're in for a treat. When they're showing photos of him being in the military, they're doing a debriefing of his character. They showed a picture of him in NWA! In NWA! And I was sitting on the couch like, oh my God, really? Really? But the rest of the film, not the worst movie ever, just a very bland. Forgettable action. Now, there's tons of action in this movie. We got a tank battle. We got a train battle at the end. There's tons and tons of way more action than the first XXX. But it's very forgettable. You know, she was starting to fall asleep.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
At some point, we didn't even care. Like, during the tank battle, we were fighting each other. we were just goofing around here, trying to stay awake. But, it's very generic. And there was really nothing extreme about, Ice Cube. Yeah. He didn't really do anything extreme. No. He did like one thing where he crashed a boat on top of the bridge, but that was really it. So it was just kind of like, what is the point of this?
This was a very Universal Pictures style sequel, and it was not made by Universal. Universal makes Fast and the Furious and the Riddick films. And this felt like something they would do. Where, we want to make a sequel because we have a potential franchise because the first movie made enough money to warrant making a sequel, but we can't get the main star, so what do? Just quick, crank out some shit. Just, drop trow and shit it out. And there you go. You got XXX State of the Union where they just didn't care. Nobody cared. Nobody gave a shit. No. I mean, you got Samuel L. Jackson.
The end of the movie proves it. What? Right at the end of the movie, proves.
I don't even remember the end of the film.
Right at the end of the movie, Samuel L. Jackson's like, totally setting up the next guy
son of a bitch.
For the next movie.
No, you gotta set shit like that up, okay? You have to meet somebody and set this person up as being a dynamic go-getter or whatever. Yeah. And then you can say, wink, wink, this person's gonna be. No, we had nothing. No. It literally came the fuck out of nowhere. And at that point, you're just like.
Well, now hell is frozen over, and Hollywood has given us the sequel that we always wanted, sequel we've been waiting for, in the third XXX movie franchise.
Vin Diesel has grown tired of his pacifier, family-friendly films. He has reinvigorated one major franchise, tried to reinvigorate the Riddick franchise. I'm sorry to say that I enjoyed Riddick, but I don't I don't know if that movie. I mean, I don't know if that character is really going to have a lot of possibilities to keep going. I don't mind.
Sad.
I don't mind the Riddick series
No.
going on in some way, shape, or form. I really enjoy the character. So they figure, why not? Let's dust off the old XXX
Fuck
gem.
it.
It's only been 11 years
Fuck
since the
it.
last movie. So having such low expectations from a mediocre, forgettable first movie and just downright nobody gave two fucks second film, how does the third one stack up?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Right off the bat, the very beginning of the film sets the tone.
Oh, yeah.
The first scene in the movie sets the tone that we've always wanted the franchise to be. Big, dumb fun. Jumps the shark, it goes there, and we have in the beginning of the movie Samuel L. Jackson returning again, recruiting the next extreme guy. This is a soccer player.
He's going to get he wants to get a new XXX.
Yeah. And the guy ends up turning him down at first. But the funny thing is the stats. Everyone's stats that shows up on the side is hilarious. As soon as they show the stats of the soccer player, right at the bottom, he's all like, he's confused because he thought he was being recruited for the Avengers. Boom! We were already laughing our asses off in the theater. We were like, okay, this movie gets it. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Villain comes in, soccer player. I think he kicks the napkin dispenser.
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. He soccer kicks it and knocks out the robber. And as soon as it hits the robber's head, Samuel Jackson's like, go! Right there. If you're not on board, if you're checked out right at that point, there's no point to keep watching this movie. No. Okay? This movie's not for you.
No.
All right.
Now make no mistake. This movie is not good.
Oh no, it's bad.
Okay, this is like the prime example of what a guilty pleasure is. And I am so glad that we finally come along far enough in the Hollywood scene and in the film industry that we can have big dumb fun that doesn't really take itself too seriously. And I've heard some people say that, oh, maybe it takes itself too seriously. When?
Yeah.
When?
There are tons of people out there. Hold that thought.
Yeah.
It's fine, to each his own. If you don't like the movie, that's fine.
No, I'm sorry.
But there's tons of people out there, film reviewers and critics, that are saying that I wanted this movie to be more over the top. It took itself way too seriously. And we're looking at each other like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Really? The beginning scene? The rugby guy who we loved in the movie? The guy from Game of Thrones?
Yeah, Yarp.
He has this crash count, okay? So he crashes this vehicle, this ridiculous crash, gets out, runs, and takes a selfie of himself. What part of the movie is the movie taking itself too seriously? What are you talking about?
Saying all of that and acknowledging this is not a good film, it is highly entertaining, however.
Yes.
And if I had to fault it on only one thing, it would be that it was trying a little too hard to be like Fast and the Furious, where they were trying to, a lot of people that watch that series and enjoy it, they can connect to the whole family aspect. I mean, family became like the main staple of the reinvigorated Fast and the Furious franchise. And where they don't say family in this, he gets this group of people together. Most of them work. There was only one kid that he was the club kid, the DJ.
The DJ character.
What the fuck are you doing in this movie?
Even for this movie that was so over the top, I think they were kind of like pushing their luck.
And the only reason why
his superpower was he was fun to be around.
Yeah, exactly. At least they came out and said it.
Yeah.
And the only salvageable thing about his whole character and his position in the film was that he ends up becoming kind of this go back and forth relationship he had with the Yarp guy, with the Game of Thrones guy.
The rugby guy.
They had a little bit of banter back and forth, and that was the only reason I was okay with his character. But on his own is like, what the fuck is this?
Why do we have a DJ here?
Yeah. But so Vin Diesel, the whole hook on this one is that he gets this group of people to go on this mission with him, and that's fine, but they did start to push the whole, we take care of our own.
XXX takes care of their own. They said it like 5 times in this movie.
Yeah, so you could tell they were trying to make that their hook for this one.
Yeah.
I'm not thrilled with it, but I can handle it because honestly, the ensemble cast is kind of fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should admit this, but I have a little bit of a crush on Ruby Rose. Get over it. And
I think everyone has a crush on Ruby Rose.
at this point, you know,
she's awesome. She's a badass in this movie too.
She's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
She is clearly enjoying what she is doing, and that's another point about this movie. Everyone was on board.
Yeah, you can tell they had a lot of fun making this movie.
Everyone seemed to enjoy themselves, and trash dialogue. We're talking bottom of the barrel, most god-awful dialogue. Some of the most god-awful dialogue you're gonna hear this year. Despite all of that, everybody's charisma and enjoyment of being there and making this movie, it really kind of helped push a lot of the flaws of this movie off to the side, and it's kind of infectious in a lot of ways.
Just look at Tony Jaa in the movie.
Sweet Jesus. Everybody look at Tony Jaa! Everybody! Welcome back, Tony!
Tony Jaa looked like he was just so happy to be there.
Exactly.
He was channeling and bringing out his inner Michael Jackson at some point, doing these weird dances.
Oh.
What the hell?
Come on.
Yeah, but we were laughing, having so much fun the whole movie. The action sequences are ridiculous.
Yeah, a little bit of quick cutting here and there. I wasn't thrilled with that.
Yeah,
but
that's one of the negatives for the film that we found to be negative. When it came to the hand-to-hand combat, there was a lot of quick cut editing. No crazy shaky cam, no, thank God, but there was a lot of quick cut editing. But finally, at the end of the movie, when they let Donnie Yen do his thing, holy shit, man. God, Donnie Yen's such a fucking badass. They finally, let that camera just linger there a little bit longer, and we were like, oh, thank God. So we can really showcase. People in the theater were like, shit. People who haven't really experienced Donnie Yen before. People who didn't even know that was the same guy from Rogue One.
Hey. Hey, those of you who don't know who Donnie Yen is yet, well, you're in the movie Dojo. You know who he is. But some of you who might not know, wrap your head around this, motherfuckers. That man is over 50 years old.
Yeah,
He is in his 50s.
That's insane.
And he survived!
Yay!
An American film!
Yay!
What the fuck? So when I didn't know, because I didn't watch the trailer with you. I didn't really know what to expect going in, and when I they set it up that he's the villain. You got this rogue team of former XXX agents. They go good XXX agents against rogue XXX agents, and you've got the Toni Collette character who ends up being the real villain of the film. So at first, but you don't find that out until later. So at first, Donnie Yen is the villain. I'm like, oh, he did. That's like, okay, well, I'm used to it.
Yeah.
It's par for the course at this point.
Yeah.
And then he kind of becomes not the villain, and he kind of becomes like this anti-hero-ish, just a little bit, because he's just a rogue agent. Yeah. And then he gets shot, and I'm like, what?
Yep.
I had a hope. I had a slight hope.
He almost made it, and then.
Fake out! He's fine! Yay!
He was perfectly fine at the end, too. When they all meet up at the end as a team.
Yeah, you never know he got shot.
You would never know he got shot.
I didn't get shot. Please. I'm too badass to be shot.
Yeah, but just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Motorcycles, riding on water, going underneath waves. Skiing down a dirt hill off of trees, no snow, skateboarding off of buses. Okay, if you're not on board already, you're gonna hate this movie. You're not gonna like it at all.
And that's the thing. This is cheese done right. Mm-hmm. For me.
Yeah.
You enjoyed it like crazy.
We were laughing the whole movie.
And that's the thing. You got these movies that are stupid. They are stupid by design. I'm looking at you, Transformer franchise, where you are dumb, yes, and you are mindless, yes, but you're not fun. Yeah. You are not fun. Yeah. This is so hopelessly silly. And that's the thing. It is silly.
And it revels. It revels in its silliness.
Bask in the glory of its silliness. The plot. Who the fuck cares about the plot? It doesn't matter. You know the good guys are gonna win. There's no tension here. Nobody of consequence dies in this film. It doesn't matter. Are they trying to set up for a sequel? Desperately so. They want this to be the next big, franchise.
And why did they ruin the surprise with Ice Cube? Why did you show Ice Cube in the trailer?
I gotta admit, I clapped a little bit.
The whole audience cheered when Ice Cube showed up.
And it almost made the second movie worth it.
Yeah, it did. And his stats on the side was hilarious. Because was it Vin Diesel saying, hey, if you guys get into trouble, dial 9 or whatever like that? Yeah. Or something like that. And then when Ice Cube showed up and fucking destroyed all these dudes, his stats show up on the side, and he got at the bottom and goes, waiting 11 years for someone to down 9. It's hilarious. There you go. Yeah. That's your movie. Now, would I have preferred a fight scene between Donnie Yen and Tony Jaa? Fuck yeah. I was really hoping that might have happened. It could have been the greatest fight sequence of all time, but the fact that we were having so much fun being entertained with the movie just being so over the top, I actually didn't even really care that fight didn't happen. I was just sitting there laughing, enjoying the action. The over the top ridiculous Vin Diesel running out of the plane at the end. First, okay, stay with us. Vin Diesel flying a plane up in the sky to crash into a satellite that's coming down to kill everyone in the city. Before that happens, he's running out of the plane, jumps out, parachutes and all that, yeah. And it's some of the worst screen ever of him running out of the plane. We were laughing our asses off, having a good time.
Yep.
So martial art movie fans out there, I still recommend you guys check this out. Just to see Donnie Yen throw down a little bit and Tony Jaa throw down, it's still worth your time. We only recommend this film, though, overall, if you guys are into over-the-top, does not take itself seriously,
no. Yeah, absolutely.
jumps the shark type of movie.
This is not for your sophisticated, I only watch The Raid. I'm not bashing The Raid, I'm just saying, you know.
That's a whole nother level of it.
Yeah, this is not, this is The Raid.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
This right down below my feet is XXX.
Yeah.
And you know what? There's just nothing wrong with it.
No. So we're going to give the first XXX a 3 out of 5 Ninja Stars. Very solid, fun for what it is.
It's fine.
The second one, we're going to go ahead and give it a 2.8 out of 5 Ninja Stars.
Being generous.
But for this film, we give XXX The Return of Xander Cage 3.3 out of 5 Ninja Stars. Alright, that's it for today's episode of The Movie Dojo. If you have seen this film, let us know what you guys thought about it in the comments below.
Try not to be too harsh.
And once again, we'd like to thank all of you guys for watching. You guys rock. And stay tuned for my next review of Kickboxer Vengeance. See you guys next time.
Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe.
Hell freezes over and Donnie Yen survives an American film.
Outtake for the end. Outtake for the end. Perfect. No, that is hilarious.
That's the synopsis.
Oh, God.
Oh, I don't know if you want to stick with that or we'll.
You want to do another one?